Hello and welcome to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. So today we're going to make a very simple cake, and we are going to be making it from biscuits, milk and our baking powder. Only 3 ingredients, and we're going to be adding some additional cocoa powder for more flavor. So we're just going to be using I'll be using my biscuit. Any biscuit that you have at your disposal, use. So these ones are ulker biscuits and Oreo biscuits. So what you're going to do first, I have weighed them 400 grams of my biscuit here. So these ones are 400 grams. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be crushing them. I'm going to be crushing them. We need it in powder form. If you have a food processor, better for you to use. So I'll just show you how I will crush mine. You can take the biscuits, put them in a bag. So these are my Oreo biscuits. That's how they look like. Put them in a bag and just take your anything that you can use in your kitchen to crush the biscuits. So I'm going to be using this to crush my biscuits. So the biscuits that you've kept in a bag, just start crushing them. So you're going to crush them until you have crumbs from your biscuits. So I'll do the same with this. Just crush them. After crushing your biscuits, this is how they should look like. You really need to get them into fine powder grind form. You need to grind them very finely, crush them. If you have a food processor, it will be better for you to use. So this is how mine are looking like. You can use any type of biscuit you like. So I used Oreo biscuits and ulker biscuits. So this one is 400 grams of biscuit. I'm going to be mixing them together. And then we're going to be adding baking powder, some cocoa powder for more flavor to our chocolate cake, and some milk. So we are going to weigh in 2 tablespoons of baking powder. So I'm just going to take this one is the tablespoon I'm using, baking powder. So we are adding baking powder just to give it, just to enable our cake to rise, so it can increase in size. Okay, and then I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I'll be using this cocoa powder. Just to add more flavor to our taste. So I'll be taking my spatula and mix the dry ingredient first. Ensure that everything is well mixed. Just try to brush it further if you can with your spatula. I'm going to add 2 more tablespoons of cocoa powder. It's not enough. are going to add in our milk. We are going to measure our milk. So I'm going to be weighing in 420 grams of milk. And then we are going to mix this with our spatula. If you have a hand mixer, better to use it to get it into finer grind, but if not, just use what you have. Since this is our first time using this procedure, just be patient with the process, guys. I'm going to add 20 more grams, so it's going to be 440 grams of milk. You will get the full recipe at the description box. So this is the texture we are looking for. I will write down the full recipe at the description box, just check on it. Okay, so you need to grease your baking pan with butter or oil first of all, and then you place your baking paper, and then now we are going to put our cake batter inside. We are going to be baking this at a temperature of 170 for 15 minutes. Just check on your cake if it's dry. Use a wooden stick to check at the center. If it comes out dry, remove it. If not, give it a few more minutes. And there you go, guys. Just give it a tap to make it even. And now we are going to bake it. Bake it at 170 degrees. You should have already preheated your oven when you started mixing your ingredients. Bake it at 170 degrees for 15 minutes. So next, we are going to be making our frosting for our chocolate cake. So I have my whipping cream here. I have some condensed milk and my icing sugar. So I'm just going to weigh in 250 grams of whipping cream. And then 100 grams of condensed milk. And then my icing sugar, 200 grams of icing sugar. Find the full recipe in the description box. So I'm just going to set my scale aside, and we are going to be mixing this one. I'll be using my hand whisk. If you have the electric whisk, if you have the normal hand whisk, just use it. this is our final texture of our frosting. After whipping it, this is how it should be. So this is our cake finally. I have removed it. This is how it's looking like. It's still hot. Very, very spongy. Very soft. So I'm just going to give this time to cool down, and then I'll be icing it. I'll be frosting it. You can see very spongy. So now I'm going to be frosting my cake, and I have my ingredients here ready. This is the final look of the cake. It has cooled down now, and it's still very spongy and very soft. So I have my frosting here. We had made it earlier before. I have just placed it in a piping bag, and I'll be using this nozzle. It's not a must for you to use. Just find a paper in your house. It's going to serve as your piping bag, or if you have a baking paper, just fold it into this shape and use it. So I'll just add in some frosting on top of my cake. I'll just be frosting my cake only on the top side. You can choose to cut your cake into half, slice it, and also add frosting at the center, cover it, and then finish it as I'm doing it here. So I decided to just frost my cake only on the top. Now what I'm trying to do is to just spread out my frosting to make sure that it is even and well spread out. So just use any tool that you have in your house. You don't need to have this spatula. If you have a wooden spoon, use it. It can still do the same job. Just try and use what you have. Okay, so now I'll be using my knife here to just make it more uniform and more even out on all sides of my cake, and to make it more pretty. So I'll just be evening it out and ensure that there are no lumps on top. Just an even surface. Okay, now I'm satisfied with how it looks. Just try with anything that you have in your house. You don't need to stress yourself. So now I'm going to be making some decoration on my cake just to make it more attractive. So I'll be drawing flowers. You can make any shape. I'll be making some flowers. You can make any shape that you want. Just be creative, think outside the box. So I'll be using this for my cake. Now that is the final look after I've added all my flowers. So I'm going to finish up this cake by adding on top the chocolate, the biscuit, the Oreo cookies, the Oreo biscuits. So I'm just going to be placing them on top of my flowers just to make it more attractive. You can use anything you have in your house that can be used to decorate your cake, and like sprinkles, chocolate sprinkles, to make it more attractive. Or instead of using this frosting, this whipped cream frosting, you can use Nutella instead of the whipped cream frosting. If you have Nutella, use Nutella instead. And then I'm just going to finish on top with my crushed Oreo biscuit, just to make it more attractive and beautiful. It's very easy to make your own cake. Just give it a try and you're going to be surprised at what you can whip up from your kitchen. So this is my final look of the cake, and that's it. Very easy, very simple. Give it a try, guys, and I hope you do enjoy this cake.